CRC is an acronym frequently used in conjunction with fiber optical networks. But what does it stand for? And is it somehow related to bit error rate? If you want to find out more, stick around and we'll check it out. CRC stands for Cyclic Redundancy Check and is a mathematical algorithm used to detect errors in data transmission. So how does it work? When sending data, the transmitter will take these data bits and it will calculate a CRC value based on that mathematical algorithm, and it will attach that CRC value to the data frame. That whole thing is then transmitted and the receiver will do the same thing. In other words, the receiver will take these data bits and it will also calculate a CRC value. Once it's done that, it will compare the two. It would compare the received and the calculated CRC value. If they are both the same, the received data is considered correct, whereas if they're different, the CRC counter will go up and we know something went wrong. So why do we need a CRC in a fiber optic network? Now, fiber optic networks are really very reliable, but they are not completely immune against errors. And errors can come from various different areas. So we're talking about faulty equipment, signal degradation over the distance, damaged or stressed fiber, laser degradation, receiver degradation, you name it. And the worst thing about it is that these errors, they can just suddenly occur out of the blue, even with links that were previously working flawlessly. But that is the absolute strong point of CRC, because CRC is a continuous check of the data traffic. And just to be clear, only because a CRC has occurred, so a CRC error has occurred, that doesn't mean that we've actually got a loss of data traffic. On the contrary, it is merely a very early indication that something with the fiber network isn't quite correct. But that is also the reason why CRC is used for so many different protocols. We're talking Ethernet, OTN, SONET, SDH, and also some control protocols. Now, at the beginning, I asked the question if CRC and bit error rate are somewhat related. Well, they are related as in they've got something to do with errors, but apart from that, not really. Let me explain. So CRC is an error detection, whereas bit error rate is an error measurement. What does that mean? Well, that means that the CRC, that counts the number of CRC errors. In other words, the number of times the calculated and the received CRC value was different. But it doesn't tell us anything about how many bits actually in that data package were faulty. Whereas the bit error rate literally is the number of faulty bits over time. And the other very important difference is that the CRC is part of the data frame of each individual data frame, whereas the bit error rate, that requires a special test signal, this PRBS test signal. And that means that CRC is the real-time live traffic monitoring, whereas the bit error rate, that is a dedicated test setup, and it's got nothing to do with the live traffic. By the way, if you want to find out more about the bit error rate, check out our channel because we've got a dedicated brain snack video just covering this topic. So, I hope you learned something today and that you enjoyed this video. If so, please leave a comment. And of course, remember to follow our channel so you get your regular dose of brain snack. Until next time, bye-bye.